Two marker. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela Takarianj.
What's up, guys? Hopefully, everyone's having a great, fabulous Friday and everything. Obviously, this is a little bit more different setup here. Obviously, me and Angela are both at different places right now, so would need be with our job, well, with my job, really, and everything. But let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today? What's today's film on a Friday? By the way, sorry about getting this later in the week, guys. But what did you think? Well, first off, what's the title of this movie we're talking about?
So this is the sixth movie in this franchise. It's been going on for so long.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are traumatized by this franchise, us included.
yeah,
But we have the pleasure of reviewing Final Destination Bloodlines. So, plagued by
yeah.
a recurring violent nightmare, a college student returns home to find one person who can break the cycle and save her family from the horrific fate that inevitably waits for them. So, Ryan, what were your thoughts on, coming out of this theater? I know when the trailer first dropped, you were really hyped up for that. So, what were your first thoughts stepping out of it, actually watching this continuing franchise?
This movie is actually way more terrifying than the previous ones, I would say. It's definitely more gruesome, more gory. There's a lot more definitely gory scenes in here that I really was shocked to really see. I mean, it's crazy, but it's definitely a different tone. I would say this is the best way I could describe it, moviegoers, is it's terror mixed with semi action versus mixed with comedy, and it blends very, very well. There's a lot. I was laughing at a few moments in this movie where like I was like, wow, what the one liners, the one the one hits, and I was really, really engaged, and I was loving it. It was entertaining. It's bonkers, man. It's a definitely a popcorn movie. Now, is this like the best score, the best picture movie? No, it's not. I feel like this is definitely a movie that's going to be entertaining to moviegoers, and I feel like that people are really gonna like this. I can't believe the Rotten Tomato score is 93%. I don't know if I would agree with that. That's my opinion. I don't need 93%. Anything 90 and above, of course, I'm thinking Oppenheimer. I'm thinking uh, fantastic movies that are just Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm just thinking of random, beautiful films that are just cinema. And I'm not saying this isn't cinema, this is, but at the same time, I'm just like, wow, what the heck? But I mean, I could see this ranking at the top horror, terror for sure. And for me, I wish the story was a little bit tad bit better and really connecting, explaining it all connected to the other franchise. That was one of the things I really cherished when they did that with the other films. They always kind of like, hey, remember this that happened? Hey, remember this that
I
happened?
mean,
So
they kind of
they
did.
kind of not really, but they didn't really do that too much. But anyways, what did you think, Angela, of this movie? What did you love it, hate it? I know you went with my sister to go see it.
Yeah, we went to go see it. And fun fact, she's never seen any of the previous films in their entirety. She's only seen
Oh
clips. So
man.
she kind of get the gist of what was going on. It was kind of hard to explain it. But we walked out really liking it to be, for a sixth movie in this franchise, it was pretty good. It still had the same, you know, tense, you're on the edge of your seat waiting for something bad to happen. You don't quite know when it's going to happen or what's going to
Mhm.
happen, but you can feel the tension as an audience member. And it's still the same formula, but it still works. A lot of people in the theater were reacting to a lot of those
Yeah.
gruesome deaths, like kind of like the way we were. Like it's just you can't help but chuckle in some instances because it's in disbelief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I agree. It had some kind of small underlying tones of comedy in there. Um,
Yeah.
but I disagree. I do think they did connect it somewhat in a way, and it does give like a food for thought
Mhm.
of like the is this the reason why the other films have happened? We're not gonna,
Hmm.
dive into
Well,
and spoil
see,
it,
see,
but
I wish
I
I wish they would have done that though. They would have connected it to all the other people. That would have made sense. I would have loved that more,
I think
but they
it's
didn't do
more
that. But whatever.
yeah, I think it's more implied, but they do connect it with I think Tony Todd's character. I think they brought him back for
Yeah,
the
because on the last movie, yeah.
right. So they did
But
kind
don't
of
get too
connect there
much
and
into spoilers. But yeah.
yeah. Oh well, I think might be in the trailer, but they brought him back and unfortunately I think that's probably one of his last films 'cause he unfortunately passed away at the end of last
Yes.
year. So it was really
Yeah.
good to see him in on the screen again for this
It's a great
franchise.
job.
yeah, he did such a great job. And he's just a really prolific actor. He's done so many great things over the years. I mean,
Mhm.
Candyman, he's just so great. But the movie, as I agree, it wasn't like the best picture of the year, but I really enjoyed
Mhm.
it. It was the action we got, the scenes that were done, the deaths, the craziness of like
Yeah, yeah.
who
They
would
were
even
gruesome.
think?
I mean,
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
first 10 minutes of the movie is just insane, and just
That's
it's
crazy.
bonkers. It just hits you right. It keeps going, it hits you, and it gets very gory. It's very gruesome than the other ones. I have to say that. It very much
Yeah,
so is. I'm impressed though. I'm not gonna lie. I was impressed how much gore they really went, and it's entertaining.
it
I feel like
was.
again, I go back to what I said earlier. Earlier, I think moviegoers are really gonna love this movie, and I feel like
Yeah.
they're gonna flock to it, and we just love the curiosity. We love to be curious of our own deaths. That's the
We
thing.
are morbidly
Yeah,
curious about our mortality. Yes, we are.
yeah.
Again, I
I
think it
think it's our
also has
human nature, and yeah, and that's why these
yeah,
movies do so well in the movie. But yeah,
yeah.
I gotta say, I'll say that I really enjoyed this film, and yeah, I gotta leave it at that. What rating 1 out of 10? Tell me the highest, Angela. When you give this rating?
Oh, that's hard because I did enjoy it for, a lot of gruesome a lot of gruesome scenes.
Yeah,
It's not really my cup of tea. I think when I was explaining to your sister, those are the kind of movies that I watch once and I'm good. Just because it
yeah, for
makes me
sure.
so paranoid afterwards and it's so
Mhm.
traumatizing. I mean, that highway scene from the second movie still gets me to this
Yeah,
day. I watched it so
they kind
long
of teased
ago.
it a little bit in the movie. They kind
Yes,
of
they
teased it a
did.
little bit,
Like I
and I
said,
was
they
like,
kind of
damn.
try to
Yeah.
connect it a little bit, especially like the first one with the plane and the
Mhm.
logs. I know the third one was the roller coaster. I think the fourth one was at the
That's one of my favorite ones.
speedway.
Yeah.
I think the
Speedway is a
second one's
good
my
one
favorite.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like the Speedway, the NASCAR one, and then of course the second one and the first one. I don't know. They all
Y-
I feel like they just all attach to us differently. They all hit us home
Yeah,
differently.
I
Whether
think so.
we're yeah,
Because you're scared of roller coasters. um,
yeah,
yeah, I for a sixth film in this franchise, it's still keeping up. Honestly, it's still
mhm, yeah.
as many
Surprisingly,
deaths as we've seen over the movies. It's always creating inventive freak accidents for us to watch, and I think the way that it's filmed and shot to keep you,
yeah.
like you say, that suspense still there. It's really a marvel. So I will give props where it's due. It's a pretty solid film, and I
Mhm.
agree. I think a lot of people who are fans of this franchise are going to really enjoy this new film.
For sure, for sure. Rating?
I'll give it a 7. It's not my cup of tea,
Okay.
but it was a good, well done
Yeah.
film.
I'm gonna go the 7 as well. I just again we go back to what I was saying. It just I really enjoyed this movie. Now, did I know a lot of people, and that was my only concerning, right? Was the story, the depthness? There wasn't really any. But
Mhm.
I think that's, at the end of the day, that's the point. That's the point of this movie. It's supposed to be bonkers, ridiculous.
Mm.
At the same time, though, it was very, very creative. It's almost like watching this. Remember Spike TV? You remember Spike TV? Yeah. So Spike TV, there was a show on there, and it was a
Thousand
great
Ways to
show.
Die?
It's again, yeah, A Thousand Ways to Die. It's pretty much that, but stretched out, and you have these characters that you follow through the whole movie. That's all it is. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, people flaunt to that. They enjoy that.
Mhm.
They are just curious by nature. So, but yeah, I'll leave it at that, guys. Yeah, I'll give it a solid 7 as well. This was definitely the film that we deserved. I feel like moviegoers, again, I'll say it again, they are really enjoy this movie. My theater was actually kind of packed. I went to go see the Draft House here in Corpus Christi, and it was actually not bad. It was a really good crowd. It wasn't like full
Yeah.
by all means. I would say probably like the top tier section. It was about a good, yeah. There was like, spacious. It was probably good about like 30, 40 people. It was not bad.
Yeah, yeah, same. I think our theater was like half full, given that it was one of the smaller theaters,
Yeah.
in that theater. So I'm really excited that for a Thursday, turnout, that's not bad. So I
Mhm.
hope people flock
I,
to this
I
film over the weekend.
Yeah, no, I can really see this movie as long as people go see, which I think it's gonna happen. I can really
Mhm.
see this movie breaking the bank on this. I really think they can really make some money off of this and continue that franchise and continue that legacy that Final
I
Destination
know.
never we never thought could have. But yeah,
And that's the thing. I think the thing with this is what happens, like the ending is so open end of like what happens now that
yeah,
maybe they could continue it and maybe they couldn't. I don't
Yeah,
see, if, especially if it's a successful box office, where they would just stop it. This is the last one,
yeah.
so I could see them continuing with this.
No, I agree. I agree. Most definitely. All right, guys. So, question is for you. What do y'all think? Let us know in the comments down below. What do y'all think of Found Destination Bloodlines? And again, sorry about getting this a little later in the week and everything, but get right to it, guys. Have a good one. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan 680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
This is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Have a good one. See you at the movies. Latest.